and our esteemed guest speaker, Los Angeles City Council President Wesson. The Council President was elected to represent the 10th Council District in the City of Los Angeles in a special election in November of 2005, winning with 80% of the vote, which is pretty amazing. He was re-elected again in 2007 and 2011, again with wide margins. The Council President was unanimously elected by his colleagues on the Los Angeles City Council in November of 23rd of 2011 to be Council President. Throughout his 20-year career in government, President Wesson is well known for his uncanny ability to bring people together. He began his career as Chief of Staff for former council member Nate Holden, and later was Chief of Staff to Supervisor Yvonne Burke. In 1998, he was elected to the State Assembly, a position he held until 2004 when he was termed out. Sacramento's loss was clearly Los Angeles' gain. While serving in the Assembly, his peers accorded him the great honor of unanimously electing him as the 65th Speaker of the California State Assembly, which is one of the 3 most powerful positions in state government. And also, he was only the 2nd African American to be elected Speaker of the California State Assembly. Please join me in welcoming a longtime friend of VICA and a great friend of the business community here in our great city of Los Angeles, City Council President Herb Wesson.
Boy, it pays when you have a friend introduce you. That's some good stuff. Good stuff, man. Anyway, I just have to tell you this. I feel like I'm getting old. And I want to give you an example of what it's like, especially for all you young people. I woke up this morning with a pulled hamstring. How do you do that?
You don't want to
No, when I say sleep, I mean really sleep.
Even worse.
So I'm trying to walk around like I'm cool, but it's a limp. It is a limp. I have made a personal commitment because I really enjoy this very much to truly cultivate the relationship that I have with VICA and individuals that do business on this side of the world. I had a struggle getting here this morning, but I got here on time. But I want to get to know you, each and every one of you, and I want you to get to know me. I want us to have a relationship where we can chat. If I'm not in the council chambers, folks, my name is Herb. I enjoy that better than council president. In fact, that's my favorite title. Second favorite title, Poppy by my grandchildren would be number 1. But I'm not into titles and all of that. But I want to come here on a regular basis, and I truly appreciate you affording me that honor. I do want to say congratulations. I do want to say a few things, but I think we should spend the remainder of our time just getting to know each other. But a couple of things I want to say. Where's Jill? Congratulations, new commissioner in the back. Is the air conditioning pointed directly at you, or is that just me?
It is. Lots of water.
Okay, they put me in the seat where the air is directly. I moved, and then they moved the air. But I do want to congratulate you, and I'm looking forward to working with you. The only thing I'm going to say is I love what I do. I can't wait to wake up in the morning and to go to work. The only thing that would be better is if I was in the sports business. Maybe owned a team. No. You know, if I was a radio personality or a coach or something. So this is what I believe I was born to do. So I don't know how much time Stuart, in fact, where is Stuart? We should give Stuart another round of applause. I don't know if Stuart's been a good friend of mine since before I was Speaker of the California State Assembly. And as soon as he came aboard with you guys, I knew that he would take you in a direction that you wanted to go. So I'm so happy, Stuart, that your folk realize what you bring to the table. But anyway, let's talk. Let's get to know each other. No math questions, but other than that, I will try my best to answer every question that I have in the allotted time that I have. So let's get to know each other. In fact, I'm going to take this thing. Don't be afraid to ask the first question. Lucia Mann.
All right.
Okay, what do you want to ask? I saw your hand right up, and after you, Chris Majeski. Don't let me put you guys on the spot.
Mr. Wesson.
Yes.
What are your priorities for the remainder of the year, upcoming year, and the city council?
Well, I think the most important thing that I have to do now is really get a feel for the new members of the city council. We have 7 of them. I mean, it's a sea change. I'm doing the very best I can to understand them. And I think I mentioned to somebody earlier today, the hardest thing to do with new members is to convince them that we are an equal partner with the mayor. And we have a responsibility afforded to us by you to make sure we do our job. But other than that, this class has the potential to make this council the best council that you've seen since John Ferraro council. Plus, we'll probably do it with a little flair. Yes?
What is your position on consolidation? You said not easy questions.
That's fine. I heard yesterday, and I just heard this, because I don't want to upset anyone, but I think that there will be a motion submitted that will ask for further review, soup to nuts, because you have a new mayor, you have 7 new council members, and so to do something so large without really bringing them up to speed would be a mistake. So I think that's what's going to happen. I think we did that because we wanted to get some things from the previous mayor, and that was important to him. But I think it is important to us to afford the new mayor and council the opportunity, because that's a big consolidation. Let's take the county of Los Angeles for instance. Huge county. I don't know how big we are. The county of LA is bigger than a lot of states, okay? Some countries as well. They have a consolidated, they have so little unincorporated land. I mean, so they don't have to do the job that LA has to do. So it's just a big thing. So that's where we are. I think you're going to see more discussion, and you're going to see it quickly. Yes, sir.
Councilman, with nearly half the members of the council being new, do you see this council taking a new look at maybe at some of the more controversial issues that were decided over the past, say, 6 to 12 months? I mean, I'm thinking the trash franchise in particular, but maybe there were some other things that you might be taking a new look at?
I think anything is possible. Again, with this new group, I've never seen such a seasoned group that has varying backgrounds. So I think some of these things may be revisited. But I'm pretty confident that the things we have in place now will stay in place. But this group is a surprising group. In the back, the boss.
As you get to know us a little bit, you'll find out that one of our key issues is the elimination of the city business tax.
Okay, it's been great. I love speaking to you guys. Call me and I'll be back. Thank you. We need to become more business friendly. And I personally am counting on you and your help. People have come up with ways in which we could deal with that. And I think once a month or two or so, when you see the new council get settled, I would anticipate that there's going to be a serious discussion on ways in which that could be done. And I know that a lot of you did not support Proposition 8, which was, I got beat up over. But part of what we wanted to do is use that additional resource, that additional revenue stream, and reduce the business tax in particular and others. Okay, I saw another question. Oh God, Steve. I don't know who said that. How many of you were at the last, Stuart, when was the luncheon that we had where all of us, all the elected officials come? It was a month ago. So somebody came up with the idea that Steve should be one of the individuals to introduce individuals. You need humor, Steve. What is your question?
After that introduction, I'm not saying anything. I do have a question. I have an observation first about if this will make you feel any better. About 5 months ago, I tore my hamstring playing ping pong. So.
At least you were doing something. Roll out of bed, go.
The Mickey Cantor 2020 Commission, what's happening with that, and what do you expect the City Council to do with it?
First of all, I'm very proud of all of those members that volunteered to help us out. I do anticipate a report fairly soon, like within the next month. I think they bit off, they didn't know how challenging it would be to review all of the city's finances and what have you. So I did not want them to rush and give us a report. I wanted them to dot the I's and cross the T's and give us a report that makes some sense. So I'm really excited, anticipating their report. Ping pong. Francie?
Yeah, I wanna get
You know what now? Maybe I don't need to get you to know you guys. It seems like I know so many of you. Yes. We work together, what many of you don't know. 100 years ago, we both worked at City Hall. She was 3 years old, I was 5, but we worked together for several years. Yes?
Going back to the budget, and you mentioned Measure A or Prop A, and the money you needed and how we're getting our budget together. Over the last few years, the city has eliminated departments and commissions in order to become lean and mean and streamlined. The first thing that seemed to happen when the new council and the new mayor came in is another commission was created. Whether it's a department or commission, I think it was on immigrant affairs. I'm not picking on this particular commission, but it sounds like we cut down, we cut back, and then boom, a new council, a new mayor came in, and we're starting again. bureaucracy?
No.
Or are we going to keep this lean?
No, I think that having advisory committees or commissions or what have you, they're very good things. And they don't cost a lot of money. Like the 2020 commission, they raise their own money. So I put them in place and they function on their own dime. They've got grants and what have you. I don't think you're gonna see government grow. I think you are gonna see us continue to try to get leaner and more creative and come up with ways that we can work together. I don't think there's anything at all wrong with talking consolidation, because in some instances that might be the way to go. But I think that these commissions can be helpful. In a short period of time, I believe you're gonna see one created by the mayor and myself, because we wanna find out why the hell aren't people voting? And what can we do to up the voter turnout? It's an embarrassment to me, especially being an African American, where individuals had to die to get the right to vote. For all of us, hell, this country was built on people coming from other countries so that they could be free and vote. And we've got 9%, 10% of the population in certain areas voting, so we're gonna put together a commission to discuss that, and I hope to move real quickly on that. That's gonna be a good commission. They're gonna give us advice. What'd you say?
The League of Women Voters Los Angeles is taking this on. I sit on their board and we would love to partner with you.
Well, in fact, I should make sure that we have representation from the league. I really enjoy working with them very much. But no, I don't think you're gonna see a return to the bloated city that we once were. Uh-oh, I'm picking on the wrong guy.
I want to follow up on a little bit on this commission.
Yeah.
So I'll ask you about neighborhood councils. We're about 10 years into this neighborhood council experience. We have some that are outstanding. We have some that are completely lunatic, quite frankly.
I won't say that.
And you know, the election process is, we've spent a lot of time and money, and you know, it doesn't work that well. And I'm wondering what your view is on neighborhood councils and how we improve that, or what we look forward to.
Well, first of all, thanks, Lane. Because that would have been a sight to see me hobble down. I believe that neighborhood councils bring a lot to the table. And I personally screwed up, and you rarely hear elected officials admit it. When I created the 2020 commission with Mickey Cantor, I should have had at least 2 appointments from the neighborhood council. I think as time goes by, people will learn how to work with the councils better and utilize what they bring to the table. It says a lot to me when you have individuals that work as hard as they do, and they don't get any pay, no reimbursement or what have you. I think it's our responsibility to come up with a way to make sure we integrate them into the system and take advantage of the knowledge that they're trying to pass on. And just so you know, for me, all of the neighborhood councils in my district are sane. So I like them very, very much. I'm blessed to represent the area that I represent. Okay, Ben.
So, Herb, you are, if I have my history right, you're probably the first council president with a depth of experience that we haven't seen in decades.
Oh, I like that.
It's true, you served at the city, county, state, you bring all that. My question to you is really about the style of leadership. Can you define for us the role of a council president? Is it about, and specifically, is it about herding the cats, or is it about promoting an agenda you may have?
Well, I think it's about a combo of both, but I think what a great president does, in my view, the president of the council, and I refer to myself as this, is the quarterback. And it's my job to see that the other members get their amount of touches. It is my job to make sure that they can deliver on the of promises that they made to the people that elected them. They come first. I come second. Now the difference with me is that I am not a manager. I will lead. When we have our meetings, I will actually recommend that we should do this, or say we have to do this. And so far, it's been working, and I will continue to operate that way until they say, wait a minute, what are you doing here? And so far, that hasn't occurred. But I think that you have to bring people together, you have to educate them, and you have to put them in a position to win. Whenever we as a council do something that's good, all of the credit needs to go to them. Whenever we as a council do something that is not so good, that's my fault. That's my bad. And I have to take responsibility for all of that. And I'm just thankful to God to give me that knowledge, because that's the way I operated when I was in the assembly as speaker, and that's the way I operate now as president. I don't go to sleep every night saying, oh, how do I keep being the president, or how do I keep being the, I just go to bed and wake up, and if they don't want me, hell, I'll go play more golf. Yes, sir.
Mr. President,
It's Herb before 10 o'clock, or Herb on non-council day.
Okay, speaking of quarterback, what is the latest and greatest with the LA football team in the stadium?
Good question. I think LA is in a different mode now with Phil, the actual owner of AEG, being engaged in the process. Now, all of us appreciated Tim LADWP, and I love him. He's a good friend. But I think you gotta say, Phil is a billionaire, and he's dealing with other billionaires. So I would put my money on him. I think he would like to have a team. I think the ball is in the NFL's court, and if they don't move towards us, then we should not try to come up with anything else. They need us, and we have to wait for them to recognize that. Phil is ready, willing, and able to do what we need to do. But my grandkids, their favorite team may be the Cleveland Browns, which is where I'm from, because you just don't know what's going to happen here. I'm not going to blow smoke up here. I don't know what's going to happen. I really don't know. I'm hopeful we'll get it. We could use it. We could upgrade our convention center. We could do so many wonderful things. But I ain't betting. Next. Boosty.
Steve had my question.
Oh, Steve.
I wanted to
Stewart?
know 2020.
Or, wait, we're over here.
I'll defer to my
That's Lisa. In fact, I'm leaving. I know everybody in this dog. Yes.
I wanted you to give us your thoughts on, the mayor had promised that he would be reevaluating all of the general managers. And I'm just curious about your thoughts on that process, and when do you expect to hear any news on those evaluations?
Well, I've heard some news already, but you know, when I worked for Supervisor Yvonne Burke, and she was elected, the first thing that she did, she asked for the resignations of every one of her commissioners. I would say that she kept 90+% of those commissioners. But she did what, in my view, is the appropriate thing to do. It's kind of fun to see the general managers, you know, twitching a little bit. Because we've all been in situations like that, but we've got a real good core, and I think that those that deserve to stay will stay, and I don't anticipate some massive turnover. That would shock me. I do anticipate some changes. You know, life has changed, and we must adjust to it. My dear friend, who brings me gifts from the island Hawaii. Not Cuba, Hawaii. Yes, Hal.
Herb, the idea, speaking of government growth, the idea of a city health department, I know it's maybe been put aside, is that real?
It's real.
And why?
It's real where it relates to the individuals that want to see that happen. I do believe they're open for some kind of negotiations. The city could ill afford to have its own health department. I don't anticipate that the votes would be there on the council, but these individuals had the wherewithal to get petitions and signature drives and what have you. So I'm hopeful that before we actually get to that point, that we will work something out. They have been very successful in getting on the ballot what they want to get on the ballot. And a lot of that is because of us. A lot of us go to the supermarket and you just sign shit. Yeah, I'll sign it. Yeah, here, gonna go there. I have to cut off one arm all and we need to pay more attention. Yes.
Herb, do you think the IBEW deal will be done before the October 1st pay increase?
I'm very optimistic. I have a lot of faith. I think the city has done what it needed to do to put everything in place. I have the highest respect for Mr. D'Arcy's ability to communicate with his members. So I'm sure that he'll see this back at the council and us voting, and that the anticipated raise, I do not believe will occur. And I want to thank this organization and members for coming to the council and saying that we should move forward. This was a phenomenal, this was a deal where individuals at the city who had negotiated these types of things for over 30 years were shocked at what we were able to do. So thank you for coming out. I believe it'll be successful, and that we will stop the increases by October 1. Yes?
For president of CD10, thank you.
Where?
On the property.
All right, here, dude. Somebody bring her some water, cranberry. You want coffee? I will hobble my butt down and get you coffee.
My question, my daughter is 6. When she's 15, how are we going to get to the airport?
By the time she's 15, she's going to be able to jump on a bus probably that will take her to light rail that will take her to the airport. So I would hope.
Directly to the airport?
Huh?
Directly to the airport?
Well, we're going to get there as well. No, the thing that amazes me, how can you even design a rail line and stop at a half mile from there? What do you think? And I don't understand that. But I believe where it relates to the Crenshaw line, which all of the other lines will connect to, we will address that concern. And I believe that your daughter will be able to do what so many people do all over the country, except for LA, which is to take a train right to Czech. And I think that you said she's 6? So I think we'll come close to making it. No, we'll make it. Stuart, I think I'm done.
So the state legislature put a measure on the June ballot for next year that would require municipalities to comply with the Open Records Act, and regardless of whether the state reimburses them for those costs. How do you feel about that measure?
I do feel that we as governments have a responsibility to try to be transparent. But I have a problem with people dictating what we do. And I was one of those. I mean, I was there. City of LA, do this. But you should allow the cities the freedom to come up with the way that they operate. And I don't believe those types of things should be legislated. Many of you have come to the council meetings. We meet Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday at 10. I've seen all of you guys there. You see the nuts we have? And the court just ruled that they could come into council and say, F you. I mean, they can do that. That's not a disruption of the meeting anymore. I mean, Judge, and I won't mention his name, he said it, I've watched all the tape, and even though they say the F word, it doesn't disrupt. I mean, he doesn't care that there are children in there that are younger than the young ladies from my district's daughter. But when I worked in the assembly, I never had that problem. It's because of them that we have to do this. I think I'd rather let the city of LA take care of itself. So my guess is just because I think that's our responsibility, at this point I'm not that pleased with it. And I don't know where you guys are on it, but I think you should let the cities govern themselves. Anything else before I go back on the other side of the world? Vanessa?
It's the elephant in the room. Of the city council members elected, there's only one that's a woman. And I understand there's a lot of background, not enough women run for office and what have you. So twofold. My first question is, how does just having one female voice on the council inform and change the policy conversation? And secondfold, what are the male council members doing to make sure that the voice of women are being heard in their policy decisions?
First of all, I can say where it relates to Ms. Martinez, the newest member of the council, she's strong. Mm-hmm. And she's tough. She's as tough as every man on that council. In fact, if I was going to get into a war, I'd want to make sure she was the first person that was on my side. That's the way that I feel about her. I'm making it my personal goal to try to come up with 2 women that will be qualified and electable for the election of the 4th district and in the 8th district. And I'm sure that Nuri will help me as well. We need to up those numbers. So there will be a commitment, and I anticipate that you'll see other council members join with me to try to make that happen, because you want balance. And you know, I think I would love for us to be, you know, 8 and 7 or 9 and 6. And I don't know why. Maybe the women are smarter than the men, and they're out making real money. And maybe they don't want to deal, Stuart, with Sacramento. I don't know. But I think that there are definitely women out there that are qualified, and it's my goal to try to do what I can to get 2 of them elected in the next election cycle. Boosty, last one.
So in Washington, D.C., there's a lot of conversation about raising the minimum wage to $9. In Sacramento, there's a bill that's probably going to be going to the governor's desk, raising the minimum wage to 10. Last month, or several weeks ago, I guess, there were protests here in Los Angeles and cities around the country looking for $15 an hour as a minimum wage. What's your position on that?
Well, I haven't taken a position on that one as of yet. I do think you're going to see an adjustment where it relates to what that minimum wage is. I don't know exactly when, but I think it's just, you know, it is what it is. I have no problems at all with people trying to better their lifestyles and how much money they make or what have you. What
Look at this.
Do you guys remember the old vaudeville shows or the television shows that would come on and a guy would come out and hook you? I think I've been hooked by this.